History does not reward the man who blindly chooses the wrong woman. It buries him beneath his own mistakes and then mocks his memory. The fall of great men is rarely due to armies, politics, or fate. More often it comes from a single fatal error, trusting the wrong woman. And make no mistake, this error is always his responsibility. The world around you does not care if you fail in this regard. Your family will not protect you from it. Your friends will not shield you. Society itself profits from your blindness. But Machiavelli, the master of ruthless strategy, never ignored this truth. He saw it clearly. Behind the ruin of many men stood the wrong woman, the wrong choice, the wrong weakness, not bad luck, not misfortune, a single miscalculated decision that poisoned everything else. Today men are sold lies. They are told to seek loyalty, to chase happiness, to pursue romance without strategy. They are taught to ignore the battlefield that lies beneath the surface. But this is not a game of love, it is a war of survival. If you fail here, you lose your freedom, your vision, and your legacy. This is why Machiavelli's wisdom matters now more than ever. He warned us. Men in general judge from appearances. All men have eyes, but few have penetration. Most men stop at beauty. They see a face, a body, and they surrender their judgment. They believe they are choosing a queen when in truth they are embracing a polished parasite. And parasites do not build, they feed. Understand this with ruthless clarity. There are only two types of women, beneficial and destructive. That's it. No gray area, no middle ground. When you choose her, you either rise higher or you sink deeper. She is either sharpening your edge or dulling your blade. And most women in today's age of performance have mastered the act of appearing beneficial while being destructive. This is the danger every man faces, and this is why most men fall. This is not about hate. This is not about bitterness. This is about strategy. Strategy is the dividing line between the man who rules and the man who gets ruled. Machiavelli told us, he who seeks to deceive will always find someone willing to be deceived. The weak man allows himself to be deceived because he refuses to think, he feels, he follows his emotions. He blinds himself with beauty, he drowns in lust. And when it is too late he cries about betrayal. But betrayal does not come from nowhere. It comes from a man's weakness in choosing. It comes from blindness in judgment. It comes from believing that appearances equal reality. The man who thinks before he feels does not fall this way. He studies, he observes, he tests, he measures before he invests. The first commandment is simple but absolute. Never choose based on appearance alone. Never. Beauty is common. Character is rare. The polished surface hides the rot beneath. If she is beautiful but her mind is shallow, her values are rotten, and her loyalty is for sale, you are staring at poison dressed as perfection. Machiavelli wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few know what you are." This principle does not only apply to rulers and politics, it applies to women as well. Few men take the time to see who she really is. Few observe her patterns, her choices, her loyalties, her respect for order and discipline. Most are hypnotized by her smile and enslaved by her body. But you are not here to be like most men. You are not here to drown in illusions. You are here to survive, to build, and to rule. That requires you to see deeper. Watch how she acts when no one is looking. Watch how she speaks about those who are absent. Watch how she treats the weak, the powerless, the unnoticed. That is where her truth lives. Men who lose everything almost always ignored these signals. They ignored the quiet moments that revealed her nature. They ignored the small cracks that later shattered into ruin. They thought beauty was enough. They thought charm was enough. They thought love would conquer all, and they were wrong. You don't stumble into a beneficial woman. You don't trip and fall into alignment. You select her, you test her, you examine her like a general examines the battlefield before stepping onto it. Every detail matters, every move counts, and once you ignore the signs, you cannot cry when the trap snaps shut. Machiavelli said, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally." The wise man observes immediately. He discards immediately. He sets boundaries immediately. The fool ignores, delays, hopes, and only acts when it is too late. The wise man rules. The fool becomes ruled. This is the beginning of ruthless selection. This is the foundation of choosing high-value women. It is not about love. It is not about dreams. It is not about romance. It is about survival and strategy. You are not playing for her heart. You are playing for your kingdom, your future, your life. And if you fail to see this, you are already doomed. A man's life is shaped by his alliances, and the most dangerous alliance a man can ever make is with the wrong woman. Understand this clearly. When you choose her, you are binding your future to her nature. If her nature is chaotic, your future is chaos. If her nature is disciplined, your future gains stability. The weak man ignores this. He thinks women are all the same. He imagines he can tame chaos through his charm or control. He tells himself that love will fix it. But love does not fix. Love blinds. Machiavelli warned us. Men who live only by emotions prepare their own destruction. Strategy means looking at her through the cold lens of consequences. Ask yourself, if I bind myself to her, what future does she bring me? This is not about what she looks like today. Beauty fades. Charm withers. Attraction cools. What remains is her nature, her values, her ability to build or destroy. A high-value woman shows patterns of discipline. She respects hierarchy, respects loyalty, and understands delayed gratification. She does not live by impulse. She does not seek validation from crowds. She does not follow the noise of the herd. She moves with intention. She holds herself accountable. This is not glamour, it is strength. A low-value woman is the opposite. She is loud in spirit, but hollow in character. She feeds on attention like a parasite feeds on blood. She cannot sit in silence. She cannot live without validation. She is always restless, always distracted, always demanding more while offering less. This type is poison to any man with vision, Machiavelli stated. The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. Replace the word men with woman. The first method of estimating the strength of a man is to look at the woman he has chosen. Does she elevate his image, his authority, his discipline, or does she drain him with drama, disloyalty, and disrespect? Every empire reflects the queen within its gates. If she is poisonous, the empire rots from within. If she is solid, the empire stands firm. History proves this truth. Kings destroyed kingdoms over women who offered nothing but beauty. Leaders lost power because of women who betrayed them. Great men lost their freedom because they trusted the wrong face. But this truth is not for lamentation, it is for power. Once you accept it, you move differently, you watch carefully, you test deliberately, you demand evidence, not words. The wise man never trusts declarations. He trusts behavior. A woman's true value is not in what she promises, but in what she practices consistently. Watch her ambition. Is it grounded in discipline, or does it chase vanity? Watch her loyalty. Is it steady when no one is watching, or does it shift with convenience? Watch her respect. Does she respect structure, or does she rebel against order in search of endless freedom? These are signals, and signals never lie. The ruthless man does not rush. He studies long enough to see patterns. Anyone can act loyal for a week. Anyone can act supportive for a month, but only character sustains, and character reveals itself over time. This is why the wise do not rush into commitment. They test, they observe, they withdraw when necessary. Never forget, loyalty is not claimed, it is proven. Respect is not demanded, it is displayed through actions. Alignment is not spoken, it is shown through consistency. If she fails these tests early, she will fail them later, only at a higher cost. The weak man ignores the early cracks and later pays with his life. Machiavelli said, "The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present." Remember this when you hear promises from her lips. Words are air. Words are weapons. They mean nothing until proven. The woman who promises eternal loyalty but acts in self-interest will break you without hesitation when it serves her. So here lies the ruthless strategy. Stop listening to her words and start studying her patterns. Stop hoping and start testing. Stop rushing and start observing. Every moment is data. Every reaction is information. The man who collects this knowledge early builds a fortress. The man who ignores it digs his own grave. Understand also that not choosing is a choice. Refusing to set standards is surrender. If you allow every woman into your circle, you will eventually embrace poison disguised as perfection. Discipline in selection is the shield of the wise. Desperation in selection is the curse of the weak. The high-value man does not fear solitude. He would rather stand alone than bind himself to chaos. The weak man cannot stand the silence of solitude, so he clings to the first woman who shows him attention. This weakness enslaves him. The strong man waits. He endures. He rejects 1,000 faces until he finds the one that strengthens his throne. You must decide what you are building. If you are building nothing, then any woman will do. But if you are building an empire, a legacy, a name that will echo beyond your death, then every choice must be ruthless. Your allies must be loyal. Your circle must be disciplined. And your woman must be high value in action, not appearance. This is Machiavelli's dark art applied to the modern battlefield of relationships, not kindness, not softness, strategy, cold observation, ruthless execution. The man who embraces this walks with power. The man who ignores it walks into his own destruction. The choice is yours. Every man who rises must understand this. Power attracts women, but power also blinds men to women's influence. The stronger a man grows, the more dangerous the women around him become. They seek proximity to his power, not out of love, but out of hunger for what he controls. Machiavelli warned that power invites deception. The man in power must assume every smile hides an intention, every gesture conceals a demand. Women, especially those drawn to power, wield influence as their weapon. They cannot match your strength directly, so they redirect your decisions. They manipulate through admiration, through flattery, through intimacy. A weak man thinks influence is harmless. He enjoys being guided, persuaded, and controlled by subtle hands. He believes he is still the ruler, even while his throne is compromised. But the strong man sees this clearly. Every suggestion carries an agenda, and every agenda shapes his destiny. Women have mastered the art of influence because men allow it. They play on emotions, they trigger pride, they exploit insecurity. They whisper at night what others dare not say in daylight. They plant seeds of doubt, they shift loyalties. They tilt power balances not with swords, but with words. History overflows with men who conquered kingdoms yet fell at the feet of one woman's influence. Consider kings who led armies yet surrendered policies to a mistress. Consider generals who won wars but lost their nations because of emotional decisions guided by the wrong partner. This pattern repeats across ages. When a man fails to master influence, he loses everything he built. The ruthless man counters this with structure. He does not allow influence without filtration. He tests advice against logic, not emotions. He separates desire from judgment. He never makes empire-level decisions in the heat of intimacy. He does not confuse affection with wisdom. He listens, but he verifies. He observes, but he confirms. Machiavelli said, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." Apply this truth to relationships. A man who commands respect secures loyalty far longer than a man who only inspires affection. Love is unstable. Respect endures. If your woman respects your authority, her influence will align with your vision. If she does not, her influence will sabotage it. But how do you measure respect? Not in words, not in gestures, but in obedience to structure. If she accepts your leadership, your rules, your discipline, respect exists. If she constantly tests your authority, mocks your decisions, or seeks dominance, respect is absent. Without respect, her influence will always clash with your mission. A high-value woman amplifies a man's power because she aligns her influence with his goals. She uses her energy to strengthen his focus, not distract him. She builds in silence, supports in shadows, and uplifts without demanding constant recognition. She does not need to be the ruler because she thrives in her role as the queen. A low-value woman destroys because her influence fights for attention, not alignment. She competes with her man, not supports him. She sees his success as a threat to her ego. She drags him into petty conflicts, emotional storms, and endless power struggles. Such a woman is not an ally. She is an enemy dressed as a partner. Here lies the ruthless choice. Never allow a woman into your circle whose influence weakens your throne. If her presence makes you weaker, she must be removed. If her counsel leads you astray, silence it. If her loyalty fractures under pressure, abandon her before the storm comes. To hesitate is to invite ruin. The weak man stays because he fears loss. He fears solitude. He fears change. He fears starting over. But every day with the wrong woman is another step toward destruction. The strong man cuts ties without hesitation. He protects his empire first, his emotions second. He knows one truth. Empires can be rebuilt, but wasted years cannot be reclaimed. Machiavelli wrote, "He who is the cause of another becoming powerful is ruined." Apply this here. If you empower a woman who does not respect your vision, she will eventually turn her influence against you. You will be ruined by your own hand, because you strengthened her position before testing her loyalty. Influence is inevitable. Every woman will influence. The question is, does she guide you toward order or toward chaos, toward empire or toward ruin? If you do not test this early, you will pay for it later. The wise man demands proof. The foolish man waits for betrayal, so test ruthlessly. Withhold full access. Delay deep commitment until loyalty is unquestionable. Make her prove that her influence builds, not destroys. Observe how she reacts to your victories. Observe how she reacts to your failures. A true ally stands firm in both. A pretender thrives in sunshine but disappears in storms. Influence is the hidden battlefield. Many men lose here without realizing it. They imagine they are still in control, yet their lives are guided by hands they do not see. The strong man sees. The ruthless man resists. The wise man masters it. Your throne is not secured by your strength alone. It is secured by the discipline to control who influences it. Fail here, and all your victories will collapse. To succeed here, and no force, political, social, or personal, will easily overthrow you. Never forget, the woman beside you is either your greatest ally or your most dangerous enemy. The decision rests in your hands. Every man must face the final truth. His legacy depends not only on what he builds but on who shares his throne. Power without discipline collapses. Wealth without structure evaporates, and a woman without loyalty destroys faster than any enemy outside the gates. The ruthless man understands this and acts accordingly. He does not gamble his empire on unstable emotions. He does not elevate beauty over loyalty, nor charm over obedience. He understands that a woman's role in his life is either reinforcement or sabotage, nothing in between. Neutrality does not exist in this war. Men of vision live with clarity. They know that every decision regarding women echoes across generations. The weak indulge in momentary pleasure and sacrifice decades of growth. The strong resist temporary comfort and secure lasting dominance. This choice defines the rulers from the ruled. Machiavelli warned rulers to guard against complacency. Once a ruler believes his throne is secure, he grows careless. He trusts too easily. He neglects his defenses. The same danger threatens men who achieve success in life. They drop their guard. They let beauty disarm them. They allow intimacy to dissolve discipline. And then, like empires before them, they fall. To prevent this downfall, a man must build a fortress, not a fortress of stone, but of principles. Principles that never bend under pressure, never soften under temptation, and never collapse under manipulation. These principles are the iron walls around his throne. Without them, every whisper, every tear, every smile can pierce his defenses. The fortress begins with this law: loyalty above all. If she does not show loyalty, she is unworthy of your empire. Loyalty is not spoken, it is proven. It appears in her actions when no one is watching. It shows when pressure mounts, when opportunities to betray arise, when rewards for disloyalty glitter in the dark. A high-value woman passes these tests. A low-value woman fails them without hesitation. Second law: respect sustains the throne. A woman who does not respect your authority will never align with your vision. She will undermine, challenge, and disrupt until your structure breaks. Respect is measured in submission to your leadership, in silence during your commands, and in acceptance of your authority without constant defiance. Without respect, love is meaningless. Third law: alignment determines legacy. If her values, goals, and instincts oppose yours, she will eventually sabotage your mission. A woman who does not share your path will become your obstacle. She will redirect your energy into her battles, her desires, her struggles. You will abandon your mission to fight her wars, and in that sacrifice you will lose yourself. Every man must evaluate: does she extend my reign, or does she shorten it? Does she secure my future, or does she threaten it? This is the ruthless filter. No exceptions, no excuses, no negotiations. You cannot afford to be merciful here. Mercy to the wrong woman is cruelty to your own destiny. History speaks with a single voice. Great men fall not from enemies on the battlefield, but from weakness in the chamber. Empires crumble not from foreign invasion, but from betrayal within the palace. The hand that strokes you can be the same hand that strangles you. The lips that praise you can be the lips that ruin you. Therefore, the strong man chooses his queen with the same precision he chooses his generals. He measures her not by beauty but by discipline, not by charm but by loyalty, not by words but by endurance. If she passes the tests of loyalty, respect, and alignment, she earns her place. If not, she is discarded without hesitation. But the final truth is this: even the right woman must never be allowed unchecked influence. Influence must be monitored, tested, and restrained. A wise ruler never surrenders absolute power. He listens, but he decides. He considers, but he commands. His throne remains his alone. Untouchable, insacable, immovable. Machiavelli declared that rulers who rely on others for security will always fall. The same applies here. A man who leans on his woman for direction will always weaken. She may be an ally, but she is not the ruler. The throne belongs to him, and him alone. Legacy is not secured by chance. It is secured by discipline. It is secured by cutting off weak influences, by guarding against betrayal, by resisting emotional manipulation. It is secured by choosing ruthlessly, leading firmly, and ruling without hesitation. The weak man believes love is enough. The strong man knows respect, loyalty, and alignment are the only foundation. Love without them is poison. Love without them is the downfall of kings. So ask yourself, who sits beside you? Does she protect your throne, or does she plot against it? Does she build your empire, or does she quietly dismantle it? The answer to this question decides the fate of your legacy. The ruthless man accepts no illusions. He sees women as they are, not as he wishes them to be. He does not dream of perfection. He tests for loyalty. He does not pray for respect. He demands it. He does not hope for alignment. He enforces it. This is the dark art Machiavelli revealed. Power is not preserved by hope, but by vigilance. Thrones are not secured by love, but by fear and respect. And women are not chosen by emotion, but by ruthless calculation. So rule your life with the same severity a king rules his empire. Guard your throne, protect your legacy, choose your queen with ruthless precision. For in this choice lies the rise or fall of everything you will ever build. The world does not remember men who were careless with their power. It remembers rulers, conquerors, and kings who never surrendered their thrones. Become that man, protect your crown, secure your legacy, and let no woman unworthy of your empire sit beside you. You have now seen the truth. Power is not random. It belongs to the man who guards it with discipline. Women are not chosen by chance. They are chosen through ruthless clarity, and only the worthy stand beside a true ruler. If this message strikes you, then your place is here, in the inner citadel. This is where men sharpen their minds, strengthen their will, and learn to rule without apology. Do not walk away unchanged. Subscribe now, claim your throne, and never let weakness poison your empire again. This is the inner citadel, where kings are forged. This is the brotherhood. See you in the next one.